Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's Community Initiatives and Affected Areas Public Input Meeting for the Village of Valemount. My name is Ann Yansu. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for the Village of Valemount, and I've been asked to moderate the evening. So on tonight's agenda, we have this. We have a little bit of background on the Columbia Basin Trust Community Initiatives Program and Affected Areas Program funding. We're going to introduce our new grant writer and talk about some grant writing support that's coming. We will briefly cover procedure and conduct. We'll talk about the evaluation criteria and how you are, what that looks like. We'll have the presentations, which is what we're really all here for. Hopefully we're going to have time for a 5-minute intermission in there somewhere because we'd really like to support the grade 5 trip to Valemount or to Barkerville, grade 5 Valemount trip to Barkerville. And they're looking for some sales of their goods. So on a 5-minute intermission, we're hoping to squeeze that in. Then we'll look at next steps in this process, and finally we'll hopefully adjourn on time. So for a bit of background, the Community Initiatives and Affected Areas Program is a Columbia Basin Trust funding initiative designed to attract or to address local priorities. In the Village of Valemount, the CBT Adjudication Committee administers the $216,393.85 of funding that's made available annually. In 2013, though, not all of the funding was distributed. So this year, the CBT Adjudication Committee has approximately $271,000. The Adjudication Committee sets the criteria, the deadlines, and the public process for evaluating the project applications. So I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and extend a thank you to the members of the CBT Committee. Bill Crisselbrink, Arnold Weed, Dorothy Flower, Rita Rewerts, Owen Torgeson, Ray Mikalash, Councillor Sandy Salt, and staffer Braden Hutchins. Thank you all. This year's applications were due on February 28th, and 19 complete applications were submitted with the sum of the funding requested exceeding $420,000. The list of organizations, projects, and amounts applied for are on the evaluation form that you received. Some of the organizations presenting tonight utilized the help of our new Village of Valemount grant writer, Sarah Thorne. I'd like to ask Sarah to come up and introduce herself now, so please join me in welcoming Sarah.
Hi. Thank you, Anne. So I am Sarah Thorne, and I am the new community grant writer. So just to give you a little bit about me, I've lived in Valemount for about 6 months now, and I've really enjoyed getting to know the community, and I think this is a great place to live. So I'm pretty thankful to have this opportunity to be the new community grant writer. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone, the organizations and the groups. So I'm very new to this position, and although I have lots of experience in writing and in research, I am new to grant writing, but I'm very excited to learn and grow with the community. So a little bit about my role in this position. It is to work collaboratively with groups and organizations to complete grant applications, which takes hard work and dedication from me and from the organization and group that's involved. So if you are interested in working together, I ask that you please come and register with me as a first step. And if you would like to reach me, you can email me at grantvwriter@valemount.ca. And I have office hours at the village office every Friday from 1:30 to 4:30. I'm also available in evenings and weekends. So, there you go. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Sarah. In partnership with NDIT and the Learning Centre, the Village is also hosting several grant writing workshops coming up. Grant writing on April 3rd, gaming grants on April 3rd, and enterprising nonprofits, likely in the same week, but we're just not sure of the date yet. Please contact the Learning Centre for more information and to register for those. Those are really great supports for grant writing. So tonight, each project must be presented by the applicant or a designated representative. Each applicant will be allowed up to 10 minutes. It says 10. Okay, 7. 2 minutes to present, 5 minutes for questions. Projects will be presented alphabetically by organization name, and just as a side note, it's interesting that in Valemount, the very first organization in the alphabet starts with an R. So, to the audience, when asking a question, please stand or move to one of the microphones. There's 2 microphones in each aisle there. Please show respect when someone is presenting or asking a question, because we all have a right to feel safe to express our point of view. Do not dismiss the comments and questions of others based on how long they've lived here, whether they're renters or owners, or any other criteria. And finally, other members of the audience and the CBT Adjudication Committee value and want to hear all points of view. So I need to stress that the evaluation forms will be collected at the end of the evening as you leave the room. Please don't forget to drop those off. We'll have someone available at the end to pick those up from you. So, before we begin the presentations, I want to briefly touch on how the CBT committee will be evaluating each application. Each applicant had to fill out a detailed application form, complete with 6 sections, and most of you are probably familiar with this because you've probably all been involved to some degree or another. There's general information, project screening information, project evaluation information, project budget information, attachments, and a board resolution. You will have received Section C, the project evaluation information, during the reception a little earlier here. From each application and from the results of tonight's public input meeting, the CBT committee will evaluate each project against the following criteria. Community benefit. Does the project provide benefit to the citizens of Valemount? Methodology. Does the project have specific goals and objectives? Is there a detailed project work plan? Project partners. Does the project have relevant partners? Have each of the partners provided a letter of support? Credibility and capacity. Does the project have a manager with project management experience? Has the organization successfully completed other projects in the past? If part of a continued initiative, how will the project be sustained through other funds or support? Financial. Are the organization's financial statements in order? And has the project received financial support from other sources? Does the project have in-kind contributions? And finally, public evaluation. What are the results of tonight's public meeting? So that leads us into the evaluation form. And the evaluation form is confusing. I get that. But the point is to evaluate each project individually on its own merits. It does not need to be ranked against any of the other projects. It's ranked on a scale of 1 to 10. With 10 being the highest score for a really terrific project, and 1 being a score for a not very great project. You can rank them all 10s, you can rank them all 1s, or you can have any sort of a mix in there. They don't need to be, sorry, rank is the wrong word. You can score them all as wherever you want. They're each assessed individually, and that was the point that I was asked to try to stress. Are there any questions around that? Great. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to welcome our first presenter, which is the Robson Valley Spay-Neuter Society for a Valemount Spay and Neuter program for a value of $10,000.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris and I am one of the co-founders of the Robson Valley Spay-Neuter Society. Our society was founded in October 2012. And so in our first year for applying for funding, we applied for $5,000, along with matching funding through the SPCA, the regional district. And with fundraising efforts, that brought our total income for our first year of $18,550. With that, our goal was to spay and neuter 114 animals. We surpassed that. We actually altered 146 animals, or did I say 146? Sorry, 114, but we surpassed and went to 146. 130 of those were cats. 71 of those were female cats. So if you average 18 kittens per year per cat, we quickly stopped the birth of about 1,400 kittens of coming into our valley. And then if you calculate at the first 6 months, those offspring are starting to breed as well. So you can just imagine the thousands of cats that we've stopped from living stray and feral lives. We also did 16 dogs. 8 of those were spays. 6 of those were neuters, and we assisted with several humane euthanizations as well. So this year, what we want to do is open it up more to the valley and not have any barriers. Whereas last year, we were strictly restricted to I'm so nervous, sorry. We were restricted to low-income individuals. This year, we're applying for funding, so anybody can come in and apply for our discount and benefit, and make sure that everyone who has an animal gets it spayed and neutered. We've had a really great impact in the community, and we're really proud of what we do. So we really want your support. Any questions that I can help you with? Hi.
What is your sense of the current need, or did you make a dent last year, or there's still lots to do?
We made a huge dent last year. Basically, we were targeting the feral colonies. We dealt with 2 of those. The first colony was about 40 strong cats. The second one was about 30. We managed to bring both colonies under control. And of course, now we're working our way through the different strays that we get calls about, farm cats, anything that we can do to try and help people get control over the spay issues that we have out here. The cost, some of it is a hindrance for some people. Others, they're just not aware of the benefits of spaying or neutering their animals. So yeah, we're really proud of what we've done, and we just want to continue. I mean, there's generally a need for this in all communities, and Valemount is absolutely no exception. Anyone else? No? Really? Great, okay. I just want to thank everybody for supporting us in our fundraising as well. The fact that we have other people fundraising for us, and it's not just left to the society, is proof that we're making a difference in the community. So for those who do fundraise for us on their own, thank you very, very much. We're always very grateful for your help. If you're ever in need of a cat or a dog, call us. We can hook you up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. A couple of things I forgot to mention earlier on. If we speak directly into the mic, it gets picked up for the presentation as well, and it's easier for the audience to hear, but you have to be really close to the mic, so you can adjust it to fit you when you come up to do your presentation. We've also got a timing system managed by cards here in the front seat. So when you're doing your presentation, if you just want to keep an eye on Jennifer here, she'll gently remind you of how much time you have left for your presentation. So with that, our next presenter is the Robson Valley Support Society for the Community Heart Project for a value of $12,548.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shelley Battensby from Robson Valley Support Society. Where am I pointing this?
And I'm Beth Russell from Valemount Arts and Cultural Society. This is a partnership we're doing together. What is Community Heart? It is a series of art workshops that link creativity and expression to personal growth and social awareness. A safe place to explore art and learn new skills. A forum to identify strengths and partnerships. An opportunity to connect and collaborate with people you may not know. A project that celebrates the wealth of culture in our community.
Art can help improve mental, emotional, and even physical states, and can raise the quality of life for people of all ages.
This is open to men and women, couples and singles. You might be a single parent. You might be an older adult who lives apart from your family. You might be none of these. But if you are excited about the possibility of expressing yourself through art and the sharing of ideas, then Community Heart is likely for you.
The original Community Heart was a year-long project that ran in 2003 to 2004. 10 workshops in total were held and approximately 80 people participated. The safe environment for conversation and creativity was the key to the success of the project.
Oh, no.
Read fast.
Okay. Are we done?
Apparently we are. Nope. The original project focused on prevention of violence against women. This year, we would like to empower families as they are one of the building blocks for a healthy community. A partnership between a social service organization and an arts and cultural organization is a blend of philosophies that provides a more holistic approach to creating solutions. In our way of thinking, it's a perfect fit. Last one. Last one. Please don't point. I created the original Community Heart with the intention of using that creative core that is within all of us to be a catalyst for learning, expression, and growth. I couldn't have imagined the results. It was awe-inspiring to watch. I was the fortunate one who got to watch the project unfold in its entirety and watch as those aha moments hit. There is something about creating a piece with your own hands that liberates the mind and the heart. Learning and illumination comes easier when one's hands and right brain are engaged. Using art as a mechanism for creating social change has been around forever. We've seen the benefits right here in our own community. Community Heart changed and affected me, as it did those who participated and those who will participate. Thank you. Questions?
Not even one?
Okay.
Will there be a fee, or will all of the course fee be covered by the funding?
There's a small fee built in, and that will be used towards the promotional costs. Not a cost barrier by no means. It's pretty nominal. Anything else? Yep. We've got some ideas, and that's how we built our budget, but we don't want to speak to what they are because they're not confirmed with the artists yet. But, you know, one of the examples we gave is, you know, if we're doing a workshop on carving, there's always a socio-educational component to the workshops. And so if we're doing a thing on carving, we might talk about how one builds on your strengths, or we might talk about overcoming barriers and challenges that you might face. So at this point in time, we don't have confirmation because it depends on, but we definitely have a plan in place. So it's kind of vague. Okay. Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley and Beth. For people asking questions, if you could remember to use the mics if it's possible, and if we forget, we're all human, if the presenters could repeat the question for the benefit of the presentation, that would be really helpful. So the next presenter is the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 266 with a Legion upgrade for a value of $34,687.89.
Good evening. My name is Les Damon. I'm the past president of our Legion branch, and with me is our current president, Pete Pearson. As stated, we're requesting or applying for $34,000 for a number of projects. One is an electrical project, which is an upgrade of our electrical system for $25,000. Construction of a dormer over entrance for $2,260. Design of a kitchen for $3,360. Purchase of an ice maker for $2,569. Purchase of an entrance runner or carpet for $324. And the removal and replacement of a hot water tank for a cost of $1,186. The reason for the big cost of the electrical is number one, it was originally wired around 1963, 64 when it was constructed. Since then, it's been added on several times, and it's been rewired a couple of times by volunteer electricians. And recently, we've had inspections by a risk management person from our insurance company who noted some deficiencies and add-ons that could be done, plus an inspection by our fire inspector. Included in this would be cost-efficient LED lighting, new fixtures, and just make the building safer for our patrons and protect our building and protection of the valuable museum and artifacts we have upstairs. And we will entertain any questions if anybody has any. Yes, Tim.
Les, that's quite a long list. Could you maybe just list the top 3 priorities of the entire list? What the Legion would see as top 3?
Certainly. The electrical would be the top or the first priority. The ice maker, because of the regulations from Northern Health, would be a second priority. And probably the construction of a dormer over the entrance to eliminate snow sliding off the roof and the possibility of a liability issue there. Jack.
Yes, the Legion is a non-profit society, is that correct?
The question is it a non-profit society? Yes, we are.
So you have no other means of raising any kind of money? Any of the money that you raise goes back to the community, is that right?
That's correct. The money we raise is from our canteen, and it, yes, what we can, we give back to the community after operating costs.
What kind of membership do you have, and how much do you do?
Our current membership, the question was the size of our membership and use of the building. Our current membership is about 140 members, but I mean we're also, supported by members of the community as guests for our dinners and our music evenings and such like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you for repeating the questions. Next up is the Swift Creek Watershed Society for the Swift Creek Enhancement Project, a viewing platform and fencing for a value of $20,404.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Silvio Gislimberti, and I make this presentation on behalf of Bruce Wilkinson. He apologizes he couldn't be here tonight. And the project, this project and the amount of the $20,000 is for a minor part of the project. This project is part of the restoration from 600 meters upstream of the village water intake, or from the Golden Years Lodge, and probably all the way down to the viewing area, or the existing viewing area just below Highway 5. The amount that is requested for this part here is mainly, I'm just kind of checking how to go ahead here. Just give me a second here. Thank you. Oh, great. Just want to show. Some of the pictures here, unfortunately, are low resolution, so you really cannot see. When I said before that it's part of a larger project, it means that in 2011, a lot of gravel was washed out and we lost a lot of habitat for the salmon. And of course, also they want to put in some big boulders, thank you, some big boulders to slow down a little bit the creek. The major funding will come from Department of Fishery, another branch of the Columbia Basin Trust, plus Kinder Morgan. Then there will be some educational components where also the SIM participate, and these $20,000 are mainly for the new viewing platform and a fence at the existing area, or at the existing viewing platform. I'll show you a couple pictures here, but you all know what needs to be done in the creek. And my final, sorry, I'll go back here. And the final word is, it would be really nice to be able to enhance one of our jewels of our community. Thank you.
Where would the viewing platform be from the existing viewing platform?
Same area. The question was, where would be the new viewing platform? And the answer is in the same area. And right now, there's a very small one. In fact, there's no real platform, and most of the money will be for the materials and for the construction of the platform, and also for the planning of the platform.
That's in George Jake's Regional Park. Is the regional district contributing to the project?
Yes, the regional district is not contributing any funds right now, but finally we have received also a letter of support, so they're supporting the project. But unfortunately, they're not putting in any dollars, if that's the question.
In regards to the previous question, so this is actually replacing the existing platform that's there?
Building a new one, there's no real platform there. Right, there's a very small one, a little piece, I think.
So it is going, and this is replacing it.
Yeah. And again, I'm here on behalf of Bruce. I don't know all the details, but I think it's replacing and extending it. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Silvio. Next, we have the Valemount and Area Recreation Development Association for a project of winter grooming of 5 Mile and other recreational areas for a value of $10,602.65. Oh, it's you. You know how to run that, right?
Hey everyone, I'm Braden Hutchins, and you know me from working at the village office, but I'm also a director on the YORA board and a director on the VARTA board. I sit on the VARTA board as YORA's rep. So I'm here presenting on behalf of both organizations, but this is a VARTA sponsored project. You can't see that at all, so I'll just move right on to the next one. This proposal, we've titled it The Winter Grooming and Maintenance of 5 Mile and Other Recreational Areas. So for those who don't know, 5 Mile is the road that starts right about at the TV towers and the water treatment plant and goes up towards McCurdy Meadows. It's about 6 kilometers long and climbs an elevation of about 2,000 feet to the top where the old fire watchtower used to be. That's a photo of 5 Mile this winter being groomed. You can see the groom tracks at the bottom, and then there's 3 skiers going up. And then 5 Mile is really used in winter months for ski tours, tobogganers, snowshoers, and people accessing McCurdy Meadows and the YORA McCurdy cabin. So I'll just go through a few photos that shows the various citizens enjoying, thank you, 5 Mile. So 5 Mile is great for expert skiers. There's Rudy Tony coming down with Pluto. It's also great for young kids learning to ski. Lots of kids were on the 5 Mile today learning, or this winter learning the ropes. It's awesome for young couples. There's Andrew and Laura. Lots of people go up 5 Mile after work for night skiing. This was a trip we took up in January, and this is at the top. And on Saturdays and Sundays, often you'll see 15 or 20 ski tour people out enjoying the ropes. There's 5 of us there, and most of you are here tonight who are in that picture. Right now, Rudy Tony grooms 5 Mile as a total volunteer, not part of any board or association. He uses his own sled and his own groomer and goes up once a week or so and makes 5 to 10 passes and widens the 5 Mile road so it's accessible for ski tours. But Rudy's machine's getting on, and we'd like to find a more sustainable way to ensure that the 5 Mile road is continued to groom in future years. So this proposal is for the purchase of a brand new 2014 Ski-Doo Scandic. It's a little over $13,000, but the proposal is only for $10,600. I'm getting the indication to stop, but considering we've let a couple other groups go, I'm going to keep going. Boo, Andrew, thank you. Really quickly then, the part I really want to emphasize about this project is it's a wonderful partnership between Varda and Yora. Varda's contributing the utility trailer, insurance, storage, oversight of the whole program and maintenance of the grooming, and they've put in $1,000 towards the purchase of a sled. Yora's contributing the groomer that they currently own, operators to run the snowmobile, and also $1,000 from their funding. So it's really wonderful and really exciting to see the two outdoor recreation groups really come together in this way. And just to really wrap this up, the sled would not just be used for 5 Mile. It'd be used for grooming on Crystal Ridge, that's Crystal Ridge right at the top there, and for maintaining the West Ridge family loop as well. So it's really exciting that the sled would have multiple uses and not just on 5 Mile. So thank you very much for your time. I apologize for going over. Welcome any questions. Okay. That's a great question. Because it's a partnership between two groups, there's potentially multiple sources of funding for the ongoing maintenance of the sled in years to come. One way is the potential for user fees on the Crystal Ridge project, one that gets finalized in a capacity to receive fees. The second is for Yora to look to collect donations from its members from the use of 5 Mile. Thank you though, Dan.
Why does it have to be a brand new sled? Why couldn't it be last year's model that would not be as expensive to take off the bottom?
That's a great question, and there's two answers for that. One is we're thankful that Curtis has got a great deal with some suppliers, and we're able to get a good price on this sled. And the second of all, a brand new sled like this one comes with a 4-year warranty, so it reduces maintenance costs in the short term. Okay, thank you very much for your time, everyone.
Thank you very much, Braden. And next we have the Valemount Area Recreation Development Association, or VARDA, for the Crystal Ridge Access Rehab Part 2 for a value of $16,000.
We all need a little rehab, don't we?
Speak into the mic and repeat the question.
Which one? This one?
The bottom one.
This one? This one? Hi, guys. So you all know me. I'm the general manager of the Recreation Development Association here in Valemount. I've got a pretty little slideshow here in 2 minutes to show it. You lie, Dan. There we go. Crystal Ridge 2014. So the idea of Crystal Ridge, it was a snowmobile-assisted ski hill spawned by a group of local volunteers known as the Power Boarders. And this idea came about in about 2004, 2005. They dreamt of this unique facility, and honestly, through the Columbia Basin Trust and this Community Initiatives program, we've been able to build this facility into its roughed-in stages. Here we go. In 2010, we began to look at the project. We decided to make this dream become a reality. We now have an amazing, one-of-a-kind facility that's shown to be a strong asset to the local community. If it wasn't for the CBT grant process, this facility never would have happened. So we're very grateful to the community for supporting this project and for the CBT process itself. This thing's sensitive. To date, it's been constructed with funding from the Community Initiatives Program as well as VARTA general revenue and a lot of volunteer donations, a lot of volunteer effort. There we have it. We've got our new facility now. Last year's grant program allowed us to create the 2 additional runs and work on our access trail. So pretty amazing area. We've got 2.2 kilometer runs, 2,000 vertical feet, an area that's received a lot of recognition and brought a lot of new users to the Valemount area. With such a relatively small sum of money, we've been able to create a facility that's one of a kind in the world to date. It's been pretty interesting. It's been a great project to be a part of, and we're almost near completion. Picture of one of the runs there. It's been already received as a large amount of public recognition. It's been included in programs and magazines such as CBC Radio, Mountain Sledder Magazine, Backcountry Magazine, and it sparked similar ideas in communities such as Whistler, and they've actually contacted our association and asked how this project became a reality. To date, we've constructed the existing access surface. We've constructed 4 kilometers of the new up track, produced area signage, construction 100-foot aluminum bridge over the river, provided major rehabilitation routes, and began to groom the access route. Stop! Braden got a little bit more. So I'll round this off. This round of funding is basically going to finalize the area. So the access is still in a bit of a roughed-in stage. We still have some hazard trees. We have some culverts that need fixing. We have some water damage that needs fixing. It doesn't have an outhouse, so I don't know if any of you, I hope a lot of you have visited the area. There's not a facility in there. So we're creating an outhouse up the trail, as well as the culverts and designing the quality signage and the mapping that the area needs. So this is basically a finalized project. So again, as far as it comes down to capacity and final stage benefits, this final stage of the program will allow us to recoup some of the costs that we've entered into the facility with by creating grooming programs, maintenance fees, so we can sustain the program into the future. So we just need to kind of polish that diamond a little bit more, and we'll be able to run it ourselves for years to come. Questions? Marion is much more effective than youth three. I'll just let you guys know that. Where's Toastmasters? Go ahead, Sandy.
As there's the 2 proposals from VARTA.
Yep.
And the program's so oversubscribed this year.
Yeah.
You can only choose one.
I won't answer that, I'm sorry. I'll talk, I guess I can say a little bit of benefits. Crystal Ridge, we need to finalize this project so we can start recouping the costs. We don't have to come back to the CBT again and ask the community again. The VARTA Yora project, man, it's so cool. It's the collaboration of VARTA and Yora. It's the first time it's ever been done. It's a major project that's focusing on the locals and locals only. It's a 5-mile hill. It's not an advertised facility. It's not a managed recreation area. It's something that's homegrown that you guys are using. So I have a big passion for both of these things, and I won't choose one. That's your guys' job. Andrew.
Do you have a sense of what the numbers are?
Yeah, we installed a trail counter for Mark Carson in mid-January, so it was a bit late in the season due to when it came. And we've seen 300 users since mid-January, so in about just over almost a month and a half, 2 months. So the users, they're quite large. We've had couples from Edmonton that come over. There's one couple from Edmonton's been here 15 times already this year. They come up as a husband and wife and ski Crystal Ridge every second weekend. We have massive groups from Jasper are coming out. And what's really neat is we're even seeing people from Kamloops. Valemount doesn't have a draw from south. When you have communities, that snow communities like Sicamous, Salmonar, and Revelstoke, it's really neat that we're actually drawing people north. Everyone's trying to go to south to the warmer weather. This facility is actually bringing people up north, which is something that I haven't been able to do as a sled advertiser. Anybody else? I can go all night. Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis, and no, we would have cut you off. Next up, we have the Valemount Children's Activity Society for a multi-age daycare group room for a value of $15,200.
Always lower. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lotta, and I work for the Valemount Children's Activity Society. We are currently the only licensed childcare facility, and we work under Northern Health out of Prince George. We currently have 2 different programs, the daycare program that runs 5 days a week, and the preschool program that runs 4 mornings a week. And we serve around 50 children and their families in our community. And Braden is going to explain a little bit about what our project is.
Okay, so I'm back up again. I'm also the president and chairperson of the Valemount Children's Activity Society, and we're in need of a bit of funding to expand our capacity for children under 36 months. Valemount has a lot of children under 36 months. Unfortunately, our daycare has a very small capacity due to licensing requirements. They only allow 3 children per daycare room at this time under the licensing. So our capacity right now in the facility is only 3 children, and for under the 36-month age. So what we want to do is this is our current office here. We'd like to move our office to our storage room, put in a door, a second door, and 3 interior windows to allow this room to meet licensing requirements, which would allow us to double our capacity for children under 36 months and meet a need that's quite high in the community. There's over a wait list of 10 children right now of that age group alone. And so this would not even half by meet that need, but this is the best that we can do considering the space we have and the number of staff members with the necessary qualifications. So just a really quick couple of pictures to help you better get a sense of what we're doing. It's hard to tell, but this is looking into the room from the door. On the left wall there, we would put a door on the far end and then a big window facing the rest of the room. That's the same wall where we'd knock the door in on the left and then put a big window right where that clock is above the chalkboard there. And on this wall where those clovers are, we'd put in 2 more big windows, and that would give staff the ability to see each other while they're maintaining and caring for the children. And that's what the windows would look like. That's a current window that was put in a few years ago. I'll just turn it to Lotta really quickly in case I've missed anything, but the crux of it is this will allow us to double our capacity for children under 36 months, so please support this project. Joe, you've got a question?
Any match funding from Northern Health?
Unfortunately, no, and it's their policy not even to provide letters of support, and we've asked them for that. But verbally, they're keen on this project. Thanks for the question. Laura? Sorry, I'm forgetting to repeat the question. So how many children would this allow? In any room, the maximum number of children you can have under 36 months is 3, but then the rest of the capacity is based on the square meters of the room. I don't have the exact specs in my head on the square meters of the room, but if there is, it is bigger than what's allowed, so you could potentially add on children above the age of 36 months as well. At the top there's 2, but
how many children are currently using the facility?
We currently have around 50 children.
How many?
50.
And how many workers would you have?
We have a couple of part-time workers and 1 full-time, so it would be around 5.
For how many children?
50.
15?
50.
50.
So we provide quite a flexible program for parents in that we do drop-in for children as well as just select days of the week. So even though we have 50 children in the facility, some might only be for certain hours or for certain days. So they might not all be there at the same time. It's a great question. Shona?
Because you're making structural changes to the building, is the Village of Valemount kicking in anything? Because it's a building owned by the Village of Valemount.
That is a great question. No, they are not, but I would, and I'm avoiding my conflict of interest here, but as the chairperson of the board, and the mayor's going to interrupt me here, I'd like to thank the village for the rent that they provide to all nonprofits in town, and so thank you for keeping our rent where it's at, which is in effect is a contribution. Mr. Mayor?
Good, you caught that, and the other piece is there's some extra space in the community hall that we can do without, that we're using to move their office to. So the village is definitely in as a part of the proposal. We're really happy cooperating and working really well with the daycare because we understand it's a priority for this community. And it is too small right now. There's way more kids than there are capacity in the daycare. So we're doing what we can. We're not laying down cold hard cash, but as a building owners, we got skin in the game.
And council also provided us a wonderful letter of support, so thank you for that. Owen. Laura.
So because there's 10 on the waiting list, this would be 3 off that list. Is there a long-term plan for more of that money?
It actually might take more than 3 kids off, because not all children need a full-time spot. So it might
good
even
point.
take 5 children off the waiting list. And as the children grow older, as soon as they hit the 36 months, we have more room again. Yeah. Yeah, we never had so many young families in our town. Yeah.
At a broader level, and this is a little bit of a plug for the daycare, we have a big board and a very new board, and so thank you to all the board members who are out here. But one thing we'll be looking to do is some strategic planning and some budgeting in the coming months, and we'll hope to have all the members and interested parties of the community out to help with that strategic planning that Laura's referring to, so it's a great question. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lotta and Braden. And just a gentle reminder to everyone, if you can use the mics, that would be great. And if we forget, if the presenters could repeat the question, that's really helpful. So next up, we have the Valemount Community Bus Society for a project for community bus safety upgrades for a value of $4,300.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Kenkel, and I'm the chair of the Valemount Community Bus Society. We're asking for $43,000 to purchase studded snow tires. What did I say, 43,000? Okay, that's next year. Just being a little optimistic. See, in comparison to 43,000, 4,300 is just peanuts, really. So we need some studded snow tires for it, and it is an ongoing expense, and it is something that we normally build into our rental fees. But we keep our rental of our bus at extremely low level so that it's affordable for all user groups. We've had user groups from both schools, the village, Tourism Valemount, seniors, minor hockey, weddings and parties, private functions, and government promotional tours. So there's lots of uses that it's been used for. There are others that I haven't mentioned. It gets a ton of use. Last year we used it for 15,000 kilometers. On average, it's somewhere between 12 and 15, somewhere in there. So it gets a lot of use. And the nice thing is about having a community bus is it provides that availability to have controlled, safe transportation, particularly for youth to get around, and provides lots of opportunities. So getting back to what we're looking for, winter tires and chains that are a mandatory thing that we now need to carry. And we'd like to construct a luggage rack for inside at the back. We have an area designated for storage, but it's loose storage at the moment, and we need to have that secured. So if in the event of an accident, nothing is being thrown around back there. So we'll need to have it professionally engineered and installed with netting and provided. So that's what's going to cover that cost. There's a lot of volunteer time that's gone into that as well in terms of bringing it up to Prince George, having it fixed up and then coming home. Any questions? Yes, Owen. No, I'll repeat it if you like.
The winter tires and the tire chains are mandated by the province, and certain areas of the province certain highways that you must carry them. Is the construction of the equipment cage / safety, is that mandated by any sort of professional or public transportation board or anything like that?
Yes, it is. It has been indicated to us at inspection stops that our luggage is not secured and is therefore unsafe. And there are some drivers in the community that are uncomfortable driving with anything in the storage area. So that means that we have to have an extra vehicle that carries the stuff. And we'd really like to have the option to not do that if needed. It saves a lot of money in gas and transportation. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dan. Next, we have the Valemount Community Sports Day Association for a purchase of a marquee tent and a public address system for Vail Mountain Days for a total value of $5,503.40.
Good evening. I am Marie Birkbeck. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the, or just the Secretary of the Valemount Community Sports Day Association. This is Paul Fretz. He's the Board of Directors. Tonight, Vail Mountain Days is celebrating 35 years of festivals in Valemount this year, and we'd like to put on a little bit more of a professional appearance. So we are applying for some money for some equipment, and Paul is going to talk to you about that.
There's three things in what we're applying for. One is the marquee tent. It's about $4,000. And the other two items, one is the PA system. It's hard to hear the loggers events announcements over the chainsaws. And the other one is walkie-talkies. We're hoping we get enough ball teams this year. We can use both ball diamonds, and we'd like to have better communication for those spread out events.
What else you going to tell them? Tell them what we're using the tent for.
The tent is a volunteer headquarters, a muster center, first aid station, lost and found, a judging station. We're going to have a barbecue competition this year. Also storage space for the PA system when it's not in use elsewhere. Shelter from the sun and rain for our volunteers. Possibly a location for a photo booth. And both the PA system and the tent will be available for other groups in the community. Does anyone have questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
How large will the tent be?
The tent is 20 by 20. Go ahead, Laura.
To be determined.
We don't have storage right now. I'm sorry? The question was, where will the material be stored? And we have somebody's garage right now. Go ahead, Wendy.
Are there tents or PA systems that you can borrow in the community that already are out?
Marie?
We've kind of put feelers out into the village, and there's very few tents that are available. Right now, I'm understanding that the village of Valemount only has one left. When I inquired at the front desk, they said they only had one. So our spaces are really limited. Anybody that's used the sports grounds already knows that there is no space for gathering the volunteers together, for just for the headquarters, for anything. There's no shelter any place. So we think it's a necessary thing to have. Eventually, over the years, we would like to build up and get a little bit more of a festival atmosphere into the grounds, but this is a good first step. And we hope you support us. Joe?
Did you look into like $4,000 if we could build a permanent shelter instead?
No, at this point, we haven't looked at that. We don't own the grounds, so it's pretty hard to put a piece of property on there. Yes, go ahead.
Would that tent be available to rent for other organizations?
Most definitely. Actually, that's one of the things that Paul ended his statement with, is that the tent will be available for other community users. Whether it be a wedding or another festival or whatever, it will be available to rent. Did I see a hand up over there? Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you to all our presenters so far. It looks like we should have time for a quick 5-minute break if anyone wants to catch some refreshments for the Barkerville trip for the grade 5 students. It's by donation, so don't forget to drop some money into the can when you pick up your goodies.